Hello retro heads, welcome back to A Hermit's Hideaway with me, Benny Williams. In this episode we're going to be talking about the Konami Hyperboy. This is a really unusual device and accessory for the original Game Boy, which I have to admit I never had the Game Boy as a child. I had the Game Gear instead. Of course, at that time I would have appreciated more having a colour screen, and because I've always had biggish hands, it was always more comfortable for me to hold the Game Gear than it was with the Game Boy. So with this Game Boy, I've had it for a few years now. It's not in the best of conditions, I've got to say. I bought it with the ambition to tidy it up and try and sort it out. I've got a few things that I need to do. I need to put on a new front bezel, the front glass that has the Nintendo Game Boy logo over the front of it. Eventually I'm going to have to change out the display because it does have a row of dead pixels in, but I'm in no rush to do that really. It has a mashed start button which I need to replace because I have to dig my nail in to press the start button otherwise. It came without a battery cover, and when I initially bought it, the person I bought it off said that it was all working, it was all fine, but when I got it and had a look at it, there was all battery corrosion. So I used a bit of distilled white vinegar and put some of it on there with some earbuds, also known in the US as Q-tips, and tried to rub off what I could gently. And I tried some batteries in it, and lo and behold it worked. So I do need to get a new battery cover, new front bezel, new start button, and you know, I could probably do with retro bright in it or something in the future, but then I'm not too bothered about that really because it just shows its age, to be honest, so I don't really mind. So all of these little things that I need to buy are quite cheap on eBay. They're not too expensive. I think it won't cost me more than about £10 for the lot of it, but for everything I need, which is pretty good going, to be honest. So as you can see, the Game Boy does work. It's got sound, and you could just about make out there at the bottom of where it says Dots of Mario, there's a row of dead pixels, but it doesn't take away from the screen too much. It's not the end of the world, and it's still perfectly usable. So of course, with the original Game Boy, they were notorious for not being able to see them very well. The contrast on it during the day was pretty low, and you had to get accessories like front light LEDs to try and brighten your display. And there was various kits that you can get with a magnifying screen on as well, and all sorts of oddware and accessories like that. But with the Konami Hyperboy, it has pretty much got all of that included, and with the joystick here and the buttons, it almost gives it an arcade sort of feel, so it's almost like a mini arcade. Now I saw this very one at Retro Revival, and when I saw it I was just absolutely fascinated by it. Me and my friend Ross, we were just staring at it for ages. Never seen anything like it before, and I thought it was just something completely unique, and of course being a Japanese exclusive, it's not often you'd see such a thing apart from maybe at these retro events. The beauty about this, as I say, is that it's an all-in-one. So you have your magnifier here, and it has, you can't really see that, you could probably just about see there, it's got two LEDs that front light the front of the screen. There's one there and there's one down the bottom there. Now the person that bought this from Revival was my friend Garen Tungate. A couple of weeks later he managed to find one in a box in probably a more complete condition than what he wanted, and he very kindly sent me this as a surprise, this very one, a couple of years ago now. Of course, it was a very much appreciated gift. He obviously knew how much I liked it at the event when I was looking at it, and when I opened it, I just couldn't believe it. It wasn't cheap either, let me tell you that. So, Garen also sent some of the original LED bulbs that you get with it, which are sort of like a warm yellow glow to them. Basically, how they work is they disperse across the screen, and as I said before, it kind of gives it a front light effect with the magnifier over the top of it, of course. For some reason I couldn't find those bulbs when I received the package, and I don't know if they fell out and got lost somewhere, or I'm not quite sure what happened, but I was stuck for a while not being able to use it, and I was doing lots and lots of research and I couldn't find out anything about it at all. And luckily, a couple of months back now, my friend Gordon King, he's got some friends that work with electronics, and I put out a tweet about trying to find out if anyone knew anything about these bulbs, where I could find some replacement from. He spoke to some of these guys at work and he suggested a replacement LED bulb. I tried that, and although it worked, it was a little too big for this screen to sort of slot back on afterwards, and also it was more like a halogen sort of spotlight, so the light was concentrated in the screen rather than dispersing it. So with him giving me a sort of lead on that and telling me which sort of replacement LEDs I can use, I was having a look on eBay, managed to find some replacement ones that worked a bit better. They dispersed the light better, so there was an equal coverage across the screen. And then I managed to finally, after nearly a couple of years of owning it, managed to finally get to try it, have a play on it and see what it was all about. So let's check out some gameplay, shall we? So at the moment this is just running through its demo mode. As you can see, it's Dr. Mario, and I've turned off the light that was using to try and give me some background light on the video initially, so you can now see that the only lights that are lighting up the front screen now, apart from, in fact, so I've turned off the kitchen light now and the light that I was using to give me some background, and as you can see now that the Hyperboy's front light is lighting the screen itself now, and you can see that actually it's really quite bright, and while their LEDs aren't a perfect replacement, they are certainly doing the job, at least for now. You can see there's a nice brighter, clearer screen, and of course the game is also magnified as well, which is fantastic. With this there's also a speaker that once you plug in the Game Boy into the bottom of it, there's a speaker jack in the bottom, and then sound comes out of these side speakers here. There's one on each side, so it gets quite loud when you're playing it. So it gives you a stereo sound once it's plugged in. So as you can see, the Hyperboy is pretty much an all-in-one device. So here we go. I haven't played this for many years. I've got the Super Nintendo version that came, it was Dr. Mario and something else, I can't remember what it was that it came with. The display is very, very nice indeed. I'm not having to strain to try and see the screen or anything, it's all there, it's pretty clear. The start's not going to work because I need to replace the start button on it. But that was a quick demo anyway, so you can see how it works. So that was the Hyperboy by Konami, a very unusual device indeed. I'd like to know in the comments if you've seen one before, or if you played one, or even if you own one. And also, what other sort of obscure accessories do you have for your handhelds or systems? Please remember to give me a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you next time.